What is going on, guys? This is Aiden, Bandwagon Sports. In today's video, we're going to be talking about a little bit about recruiting, um, some transfer quarterbacks, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. Going to be kind of all over the place today. Um, First of all, want to talk about Dylan Raiola. He flipped and signed with Nebraska. Um, he flipped from Georgia. He was committed to Georgia since I think it was like May. Um, huge for Nebraska because that most likely will get them a few other players from this class. Uh, Hopefully for them some good wide receiver talent. For Dylan Raiola to throw the ball to. Um, I don't think this affects Georgia's class too much. Georgia still they signed the number one overall player in the class, uh, Ellis Robinson the fourth. Um, he's a cornerback. He's I, I'm pretty sure every recruiting website has him as the number one ranked player in the class. Um, if not every, then if not every site, then most sites have him ranked as the number one player in the class. Um, Everywhere that I've seen has Georgia's class still ranked number one, despite not landing Dylan Raiola. Um, Georgia is Georgia's been getting hit heavy in the transfer portal. They have lost 18 players, five stars, and I think the rest are 4 stars. Maybe there's 2, 3 stars in there. I don't know. But most of their players are 4 and 5 stars that are leaving. Among the top of that list, um, starting linebacker Jermon Dumas Johnson, Pop, as he's known in Athens, Smoke Bowie, Xavier Sori, and Brock Vandegrift, backup quarterback. Um, I think a lot of the guys that are leaving this Georgia program are, I think, I think at the end of the day, it comes down to playing time. Um, I don't think there's a problem at Georgia. I've seen a lot of tweets, been a lot of comment sections. Um, a lot of people are like questioning what's wrong with Georgia. Is Georgia falling apart? What's happening? I don't think it's a problem with Georgia. I don't think it's a program problem. I think it's just more that they have so many of these 4 and 5 star recruits that are coming in that are being ballers or that are supposed to be ballers in college football. They're all coming in, they're all competing for the same spots, and then it's just really crowded. And there's not a whole lot of there's just not a there's nowhere for these players to go except other programs. I mean, try to switch positions, you got more 5 star players waiting at that position. You try to wait it out, you got more 5 stars coming in and trying to fill that position. It's difficult when a player or when a program has so many 5 star recruits. Um, Alabama was so great for so long because of the way they stacked 4 and 5 star recruits before the transfer portal was really a thing and before there wasn't a punishment for leaving, because you used to have to sit out for like a year and get your eligibility and all that stuff back when you transferred. But now all these players are just going and they're playing right away at these new schools, and they're also getting more money from what they were recruited, and by these other schools they're getting more money, and they're also getting guaranteed more playing time because they're lesser programs with bigger budgets, and they're leaving. At the end of the day, I don't think it affect. I don't think that these players leaving Georgia is going to matter that much because of the depth and the talent on this team. I know we didn't make the playoffs this year, but I still firmly believe that Georgia is one of the top 4 teams in the country. I think there's a lot of teams. I think Alabama, despite not being high on them all year, I think now that they are a top 2 team in the country. I think Michigan 1, Alabama 2, and honestly, I'd put Georgia 3, Texas 4. I don't know where I would put any other teams. I'd have to look at all their stuff, but Alabama's a really good team, and so is Georgia, and so is Michigan, and so is Texas. All all the teams that are in the college football playoffs, all the teams that are in the top around top 8 are really good teams. I'm not going to get into the whole Florida State not making the playoffs debate. It's just, for what it's worth, it's the 4 best teams. Florida State didn't make it, and I think they didn't make it for a reason. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I think Georgia's just so deep and so talented at all these positions that it's not really going to matter too much that all these players are leaving. It will matter because there's not going to be that experience. There's not going to be that much, veteran presence on this Georgia team next year. However, there's going to be a new, younger class coming in, and they're going to develop because, as we've seen, especially on the defensive side of the ball, Georgia's one of the best, the most well-coached and one of the best programs in the country, especially on the defensive side of the ball. You turn all these 3-star Jordan Davis, walk-on Stetson Bennett, walk-on Ladd McConkey, all these guys into star players and NFL talent. I think Georgia will be just fine. I don't think there's too much to panic about, especially as a Georgia fan. I'm not worried about losing these players. Yeah, it sucks because some of these guys were my favorite players. But it's the way of college football. The new college football, I should say. There's not a whole lot that these programs can do to keep their 4 and 5-star players when their 4 and 5-star players aren't playing, because they just pack up and leave. Georgia has 19 4-star players coming in, 3 5-stars, and 6 3-stars, all for a total of 28 commits. Georgia's going to be just fine. Their defense is going to be just fine. All these players are still going to develop, and Georgia's going to continue to breed NFL talent, and they're going to continue to be at the top of college football. I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. I'll see you guys in the next one.